This year more than ever, refugee protection is being challenged worldwide. Sizable population displacements are occurring on a daily basis in a variety of places and regions around the world. Increasing conflict in North Africa and the Middle East has triggered a massive outflow of people to neighboring countries. By late March, over 320,000 people had fled from Libya. Many of these people were already refugees.
Even during the daily life in Tripoli, even before the revolution, people used to discriminate against me because of my skin color. When the revolution started, we trapped ourselves at home and we didn't go out. We woke early in the morning to go out and buy bread, but some thugs would beat us and steal our money and take our bread. We didn't know there was an UNHCR camp in Tunisia, so we didn't try to go. But once we knew, we went to Tunisia. I preferred to go towards the unknown than stay trapped. I rented a car, I paid 80 dinars, and I had 9 other people with me. On the road towards Tunisia, we passed through deserted cities, deserted towns. Even some of the roads were totally destroyed or blocked, so the driver had to go off-road to continue to Tunisia. In the UNHCR camp, I felt safe. Life was much better, and I felt secure there. The Eritreans that stayed back in Tripoli, in Libya, were beaten up, and some of them disappeared. We have no idea where they are today. That's what would have happened to me if I would have stayed there.
The groups that are here have come out of the transit camps on the Tunisian border and on the Egyptian border. These refugees illustrate the threat that there is to refugees in a war-torn country, because what we had seen is that not only that they don't benefit from protection by the national authorities, but also often they are targeted because they are visible, and often they are quickly identified as somehow a source of a certain type of problem. And that is what makes their situation even more urgent.
The Emergency Transit Center, located in the western Romanian city of Timisoara, was set up for the specific purpose of providing temporary accommodation to refugees in urgent need of evacuation because of acute life-threatening situations, imminent refoulement, the forced return to country of origin, or particularly sensitive or high-profile cases.
Risk refugees face without ETC is very simply death. I mean, that is what it comes down to.
A group of young documentary filmmakers fled from their homes and their country after making a film critical of the government.
The current government, they are still hunting the journalists. The chief editor of a leading newspaper, which criticized the government, he was killed while he was on his way to the office in 2010. There's another journalist and a cartoonist. He told the media that he's going to leak out about the biochemical bombing. Then he was kidnapped and he was killed. Our story was on the brutality of the authorities. Since the day we started shooting of the film, the whole crew was in danger. Some people went missing and we were harassed, and we were followed and hunted to stop this thing because it's against the government. Our assistant director went missing. He's not to be, we don't know where he is now, not even now. And we all went to and we were hiding ourselves. We didn't have, we were hiding in a village. I found out the UN on behalf of all the others. I directly went to the UN and submitted the documents and the DVDs and everything. The UN would be the only place where we can find some help.
The complicated nature of protection in today's world requires emergency evacuation platforms to protect the most at-risk refugees. UNHCR, the Romanian government, and the IOM have set up the first such permanent platform.
I would like, on behalf of the High Commissioner, to acknowledge the essential role played bij de Emergency Transit Center in Timisoara in offering a temporary, safe refuge to the most vulnerable refugees in the world, while their cases are being processed for resettlement.
In 2008, the tripartite agreement was signed between the government of Romania, UNHCR, and the IOM. This agreement set out parameters for the cooperation to help bring refugees to safety.
Through the establishment of the Emergency Transit Center in Timisoara, in fact, our country, Romania, is an example for the other countries in the region in terms of our commitment to addressing global humanitarian crises and to assist the international efforts in protecting refugees.
I think that we saw the need to pay back, in a manner of speaking, the assistance that we've been given for a long time. In other words, we thought that if we are in a position to do good to some people, why shouldn't we? Consequently, it is a common exercise, an exercise in cooperation. The challenges are there, of course. There are administrative, there are financial, there are challenges of human resources, of course. But when you meet them, at the end of the day, you are richer.
The coordination with the partners here and partners internationally is quite fluid now because we have quite a number of years of experience.
The tripartite agreement depends on substantial coordination among international partners.
The United States is at the other end of the transaction where we're taking people. But we help fund the transit center, as you know, and we're very supportive of doing that. Now, the United States has taken 423 of them, and I think that's a reflection of the generosity of the American people. But you need more countries like America and Romania willing to do this.
I can only applaud the openness and the generosity of Romania in setting up the ETC for countries that have resettlement programs such as Canada. It is a very flexible tool for us. We have a global resettlement program in Canada. Also, we've been accepting a number of refugees from the center. Up to now, we've accepted around 65 refugees. Among other, I think the biggest groups were Eritreans that were in detention camps in Libya, and also Ethiopians that we had difficulty in getting access to because they were in Somaliland.
By the time the refugees arrive at the ETC, the emergency is not nearly as acute. They can be processed in a peaceful, orderly manner. The Romanian government provides the premises for accommodation, issues identity documents, and is responsible for maintaining order at the camp.
IOM does 4 things according to the agreement. It does the transportation. Secondly, the health assessments. Thirdly, it's the cultural orientation. And fourthly, it's the support for the immigration file necessary for resettlement.
It's only after the refugees move out of the situation of immediate threat that they start to process everything that's happened to them. They need a lot of support, social and psychological support.
I am afraid also from being killed in war. I met smugglers which helped me to come to Libya. I started my journey and we were traveled by one Toyota pickup, about 37 people in one Toyota with our water and food for about 15 days. But unfortunately I was arrested by Libyan police. I was detained for some days and I was transferred to Zelatin. This is the worst prison in Libya. I stayed for about 2 years. Then I was released by the help of UNHCR. We fall in danger because UNHCR office was closed. I really like to thank people who were working with UNHCR, especially officer for durable solution. She worked and they worked without any rest. and this is why we are here. For me, refugee means as a refugee, I need protection.
As conflicts around the world continue to escalate, these situations could quickly become even more acute. For this reason, ETC, UNHCR, and Romania look to its international partners to raise awareness of colleagues and strengthen contingencies.
On a moment's notice, the institution can take refugees who are in dire straits and house them until they can be resettled. We need a facility like that. We need several facilities like that.
This is the beginning. We sincerely hope that other countries will follow the example of Romania, and thank God that has happened. Slovak Republic followed the example, the Philippines followed the example. Hopefully we will have a similar center in Africa and or in Latin America, maybe on the Indian subcontinent.
It was seen as a good example of what the European policy in this field may look like. So I think that, to put it very shortly and bluntly, everybody was quite happy that we embarked upon this project, and we are very proud that we did.